They look really worried. There's a real look of fear in their eyes because they know the Palestinians will win. One day they will win. Because in the end, the truth has to be told. The truth of occupation, of exploitation, of oppression, the truth has to be told. And I think there is one terrible fact that some of you may not know yet. But since the phony ceasefire yesterday morning, another 200 people have been killed in Gaza. 200 mothers, fathers, children, grandparents, people in their beds, people in the streets, 200 in a day. What a crime is that? What a war crime that is. And that has to be told. And we have to tell that and shout that as loud as we can. What can we do? Well, I think there are many things we can do. First of all, we have to demand the rule of law, because without the rule of law, we live in chaos. And Israel is breaking international law over and over and over again. The occupation is illegal. The settlements are illegal. The destruction of houses is illegal. The taking of children for throwing stones away from their families into Israel, separated from their parents, thrown into wagons, brutalized for months at a time, that is against the Geneva Convention. It is against international law. And we desperately need our politicians to stand up. We desperately need Cameron, Miliband. Where is Miliband? Where are they? Where are these leaders of Labour? Where are these leaders of the left? Why aren't they standing with us to say, we need the rule of law, we need Israel to be brought to account, we need them in the dock, because they are war criminals, nothing short. I want to say a word too about America. Now, there were some people who had illusions about Obama when he was elected. Some people who said, well, this is a step in the right direction. And there were a few old heads who shook our heads and said, no, he's the same. He's the same. Well, he is the same. He is the same. He claims to criticize Israel in some weak way, but they sign a check for $3 billion a year for Israeli weapons to fire at the Palestinians.
He's a criminal.
And at the same time as he was claiming to criticize Israel, he wrote a check for more ammunition for the Israelis. What kind of respect for law is that?
He's a genocidaire.
The man is a disgrace.
He's a criminal, not personal.
And where is the logic? He said that the taking of an Israeli prisoner is derailing peace. Since when is one captured soldier equal to 80 or 200 dead lives? Where is the equivalent there? And one word about the media. I must congratulate the people of Bristol who have occupied the BBC grounds. And be there on Monday when the BBC tries to kick them out, as they will. But at the beginning, the dominance of Israeli speakers was embarrassing. It was one Israeli after another, one after another. You rarely heard a Palestinian voice. You would hear two Israelis arguing the toss between them. Where was the Palestinian? Nowhere to be seen. It's got a little better in the last couple of days. You may have noticed it's got a little bit better, but that's only because of your protest. So keep the protest going. Don't let them off the hook. And I'll tell you what to watch out for. When you have a Palestinian interviewed, the arguments of the Israelis are put to them. When you have an Israeli interviewed, the arguments of the Palestinians are never put to them. They're never challenged on their illegality. They're never challenged on the settlements. They're never challenged on the blockade. on the starvation of the Gazans, on the bad water supply, on bombing the electricity power supply. They're never challenged on these crimes. Let them be challenged when they're interviewed. And of course, continue the campaign. The campaigns have been brilliant. The campaigns are worldwide. The campaigns will win. There's a big demonstration in London next Saturday. Get there if you can. And as was just said, don't buy Israeli goods. Don't buy them. Test every supermarket. Test every item of fruit you buy. Don't buy them. And don't, to the academics here, to the people involved in cultural activities, don't cooperate with Israeli universities. Don't cooperate with Israeli cultural events that are sponsored by the State of Israel, because some of you may not know this, but to get a subsidy from the Israeli state, you have to agree to promote the interests of the State of Israel. This is not an attack on the freedom of expression. This is an attack on state Israeli propaganda. And when you see a theatre group come from Israel, they are the propagandists for the Israeli state. When you see a film that is supported by the Israeli state, they are propagandists for the Israeli state. So don't go, don't buy, make them the pariah state as we made South Africa, and we will win. One last thing. To go from the great to the ridiculous, for God's sake, kick them out of the Eurovision Song Contest. And also, don't let them be part of the European football games. They're not European, and they stop the Palestinians playing. They've shot his Palestinian footballers in the legs to stop them playing. Let them kick them out of the football tournaments as well. What frightens them, as people have said, is this brings together all of us. This is all religions, humanists, because this is about humanity. Whether they are religious or not, we care about justice, we care about equality, we care about freedom, and that's why the Palestinians will win. Solidarity with the Palestinians. Free Gaza, free Palestine. Free, 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 Palestine. Free, free, Palestine. Free, free, Palestine. What we want, Palestine. When we want, David Cameron, can you see? Barack Obama, can you